then we can escape most of the arguing because really of a misunderstanding. Because you're assuming that the person that's listening to you understands what you mean by what you say. And the other person who really and the person that's listening to you really don't, they're not revealing that they don't understand you to mean what you mean by what you say because you haven't made that distinction for them. You see what I'm saying? And so now you're both arguing back and forth over a misunderstanding, a distinction that was not made and comprehended.
Damn, bro, you just hit me with a mean riddle right there, nigga. I had to unmute. God, the hell that nigga said.
Yeah, that was a
I
tough
don't
one to
know these people
understand.
supposedly, but y'all,
I had a tough time understanding that.
Really?
Yes, I did. You are extreme when you say those kinds of things. You're really vague about the things you're saying, and it makes it hard to follow. Like you're really like seriously, like you are really vague about those things when you start talking about the distinction, definition, my comprehend. Like you're really vague, and I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know, man. Okay, well, maybe I should do a better job at explaining it. But well, I speak the way that I do is just because that's my level of vocabulary, if you will. And so when I speak to people, I'm not trying to speak above you or over you. I'm actually thinking I'm speaking to intelligent people who comprehend me.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, when I speak, especially, okay, for an example, when I speak about identity, I'm talking about identity at its root. With the United States makes this distinction between the ethnological sense and the political legal sense. Okay, so if you want to use that as an example, ethnologics would represent the root of where I'm coming from. I'm not talking about the surface level political legal sense of things, which is where most people dwell. You see what I'm saying?
See, right there is where you're losing because you're like, can't you just like tell me what it is you want to say?
I already said. I mean,
like it sounds to me. It sounds to me like you're dancing around something. That's what it sounds like to me.
I just said as it pertains to identity, I'm speaking from the root, and I use the distinction as an example to further that point. The distinction that I was talking about when the United States makes the distinction between the ethnological sense and the political legal sense. That's what I mean by distinction. And I'm using that as an example to further my point of what I was talking about. That's all I was doing. I mean, maybe I lost you in trying to explain it.
Well, I mean, because I've heard you say this before, so over time, I've kind of been able to figure out what you're trying to say. I think it would be a lot more clear if you just said, well, I'm talking about, the ethnological thing, which is, all black people are the only Americans. And then you got the political thing where that's everyone else that says they're Americans. Well, now I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
I get you, but I like to be careful with my words too, because I don't use the term black, to refer to my people.
All right.
You've never heard me do that. I will say so-called.
Well, I know the word you use. I can't use that word though. So
yeah, I say what it is. We're the only Americans, and that's from its root. That's the principle. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
All right. Wait a minute. So then you're always saying, okay, so like when you say at its core, whatever, you're the only Americans, but then you have the political aspect where other people would fall into this, all right? And then you're always separating it. In what situation would that be necessary to separate? Because you who are an actual American and me who I'm a political American, we could both still buy a house. We could both still start a business. We can both still, we have the same benefits, and so where would that distinction be important?
We're both able to operate within, you know what I'm saying, the marketplace, the United States, marketplace. We're still able to do that, but that's not why the distinction is being made. The distinction is being made for comprehension as to so not only just you, but other people who may not comprehend it and may not understand it do comprehend it and understand it by making the distinction. Okay, as far as the political legal sense, that's exactly what that is, the political legal sense. But when you're talking about decent nature, that's the ethnologics. The political legal
And in
sense
what's it?
is from the standpoint of if you meet certain criteria to be recognized as that by the United States government. But the
And
ethnological
why?
sense is the root, is what it is. It's descent nature. We're not talking about political allegiance, descent nature. And this needs to be comprehended.
Why?
Because if not, you find yourself today in a society full of U.S. citizens loosely calling themselves Americans and don't know the difference between the two because they've never been explained the distinction between the two in detail like this. This is probably why it's so confusing to you.
Okay, but then why would the distinction be important, though?
As it pertains to one's identity, which is when we're talking descent nature, that's the aspect of one's identity. But today we apply. Hold on. But today we solely and only apply the political legal sense of it because the benefit that we seek is attached to that. That's why. But looking at this thing foundationally at its root, which I'm talking descent nature, which does not change and does not pass away. That's what I'm talking about.
Does not change, does not pass away.
Like the truth.
Okay, so politically, could it change and be taken away?
From the political legal sense, yes. You can lose those privileges. You can lose that status.
Okay, all right, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Just like you can lose your political allegiance and status as a United States citizen. You can lose that. You can give it up voluntarily as well. It's political. But you can't.
And why is this important, though?
You can't give up your descent nature. You can't give it away. Nobody can steal it either. Because the truth is
okay. So when you say descent, are you saying obviously I'm Latino, so I can't say, hey, I'm not Latino, because it's what I am. Like that's what you mean, that, right?
When I say, I'll explain this to you again. When I say that I'm an American, I'm talking about it from descent nature when I'm talking about it. Okay? A foreigner, say a so-called white person, when they say I'm an American, it's not from a descent nature standpoint. It's from the political legal sense. But the political legal sense, officially, the phrase is U.S. citizen, not American. Because American.
Okay, so then going by descent.
Let me say this, because American speaks to the descent nature of the original people of this land. That's what that speaks to per the definition as well. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, that's not how I hear people use that word.
Yeah, I understand, but that's social. But you got to understand that's social. That's just amongst the people. But officially, look at all the official paperwork of the United States. It's always, as it pertains to the identity of their members / citizens. It's you. They always ask this too. Are you a U.S. citizen? Not American. They don't ask if you're an American.
Is there paperwork where they would ask that?
No, not the official. You might have people that put stuff in print and still use the term loosely to apply to U.S. citizens as Americans. But the official paperwork, the official documentation of the United States is U.S. citizen.
Okay. So both of us can say we are U.S. citizens. We can both say this, okay?
Yeah,
I
we both.
cannot say I'm an American, but you can.
But
Now,
we both
is
can.
there stuff in life where that needs like getting a house or getting like is there something you have to fill out where you have to say I'm an American? Or is it always US citizen? Because if it's US citizen, then why are you making a big deal out of it?
No, I'm. It's not about me making a big deal out of it. I'm just making the proper distinction between the two. I'm not. I'm not. That's all I'm doing. And it's important as it pertains to one's identity and descent nature. So, passing that information
Descent
down to
nature.
your children, them knowing and comprehending and understanding who they are, they get that from their family. You see what I'm saying? That's identity.
So
That's descent nature.
so
That's what I'm
descent
talking.
nature would be like me saying I'm Latino, correct?
I could have sworn Latino is another governmental social construct. It's not a
Go
national.
ahead,
Really?
cooking. Hey, Ethics, you cooking. We on the stove right now, and we slow cooking. The temperature is low. The temperature is low. Let's
Okay,
go.
well, like okay, I'm that race of
The
people
temperature
that
is
speak
low.
Spanish,
Let's go and
would that
cook.
be my descent
The
nature?
temperature
Is
is
that what it would
low.
be?
Let's go.
Well, language isn't the only aspect of one's nativity. You
Okay,
see what I'm saying? But what I'm talking about is the descent. Now, anybody can speak another person's language. You see what I'm saying? Just because
okay.
you
Well,
speak a
I mean,
language
okay. Well, I'm
doesn't.
not white. I'm not Asian. I'm not, okay, Latino, Hispanic, Latin. Those words. Would that be my
Okay.
descent nature when you say like that it can't be taken away or whatever?
What to me, what you just said, those labels are social constructs.
Shit. Okay.
You see, you see what I'm saying? Do you understand where I'm coming from when I say that?
So then, okay. Okay. So forget about American. Forget about that. The only person who can even say descent nature is you. Then people who look like you. Because then Asians, you'll say that's a social construct. Latino, that's a social construct. Indian, meaning from like India and the Middle East, that's a social construct. Like, is that what you're saying?
Well, no. If you make the proper distinction, and then you can comprehend, the logistics of it all. Like like you said, Asia. Okay, Asia, those are our people. Asians are our people, right? And
Uh
their
huh.
descent nature and what have you. You see what I'm saying? That comes along with that. The culture, the language. You see what I'm saying? The descent nature of the people, everything that comes along with that. But when you're talking about, say, like you use for an example, India over there, but that we
Uh
know
huh.
that's a company that's doing business on their part of the landmass. It's not India or Indian is not over there. It's not uh, one's descent nature. That's a political construct. It's a political slash legal status. It's a political allegiance as well, just like U.S. citizen is. But U.S. citizens loosely call themselves Americans. But those people over there in what you know as India today don't even call themselves Indians. Not them. They don't refer to themselves as that. You see what I'm
What do they
saying?
refer to themselves as?
Because obviously they comprehend the difference.
So what do they
They
call
know that's
themselves
not
then?
what it is as it pertains to their identity.
So what do they
And
call
why
themselves?
wouldn't these distinctions be important, especially when you're going out into the world and society and operating as a civilized human being? These are foundational principles that's supposed to lie first and foremost in the minds of every civilized human being. These things shouldn't even be in question. They should already be understood. The fact that
I
they're
would
not
agree.
shows you
I would agree. And the
how
one I've
far depleted
noticed questioning it is you.
the people have. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a group of people or the people as a whole. And it shows the amount of work that we got to do as well. Because even you find yourself lupus confused. But it's because of all the social constructs that we've all been conditioned to use and judge each other accordingly too.
Well,
And we
wouldn't
all been
American be a
used.
social construct?
No, it would not. I've
Why?
made that. I've Because American is defined and speaks to the very descent nature of the original people of America.
Because, wait, say that again? It's
America,
not a social construct because
because it is the very definition for one speaks to
uh-huh.
the very descent nature of the original people of the Americas.
The descent. What do you mean by descent nature? I understand descent.
Okay.
Like I'm descended of grandparents. What do you mean descent nature?
Of the original people of America.
But why do you say descent nature? Why nature?
The nature of my descendancy. I descend from the original people of America.
So why don't you say it like that? Then, because I'll be honest, the nature part throws me off. Because I'm thinking, wait a minute, are you talking about behavior, or are you talking about some, like it makes me have to think about what you're trying to say.
I'm speaking to the very nature of descendancy. So when I say descent,
well, what other type of descendancy could there be?
So, Lubis, I have a better question for you. How would you apply?
Can I get that confused with?
Hold up. Lubis, I have a better question for you. How would you better see the descendancies for you? What is your descendancies for you? What is your descendancies? Where do you descend upon your mind that you see if you have downfalled? Where? I'm gonna say that descendancies. Where did you see your downtrodden that you downfalled in that, and you thought it was proper, and you downfalled and you folded in that bitch. You downfolded descendancies. Listen, they read never dog down.
It sounds like you're asking.
My people are not downtrodden. I don't see my folders. I see my effervescence. I'm old. I'm a climax. I'm a climax. So where did you see yourself as being a downtrodden, and you see a descendancies that you need to have that question to be a mindset? Would you not be proper if you want to be with us, being proper and seeing a higher elevation that we're carrying over? That if I do descend, that means I was already there ascending, and now I want to see how I could elevation with my descensionness. Huh? Make it make sense. Carry on.
Okay, could you ask that again, but make it 1 or 2 sentences? And then I can answer, because you asked a bunch of stuff and then made a bunch of statements too.
No, just answer what you caught, man. Let's answer what you caught.
What I caught was she was asking me what I descend from, but she said the word incorrectly. I'm Latino, Hispanic, specifically Puerto Rican. She then mentioned downtrodden, effervescence, and then I did not hear anything. I couldn't understand anything else she said.
Your mic broke up. You said specifically what?
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. Puerto Kings. So you in from some niggas? Or some people that came on the boat over there?
Wait, what was that?
I said, do you descend from some Afro Puerto Ricans, or do you descend from some people that came on the boat over there?
From Afro Puerto Ricans or people that came on a boat? Can you be more specific as to what you're talking about?
Are you not understanding what I'm saying?
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Salute. Thanks, Bap, for letting me in. We here. It's like my bad. Go ahead, y'all.
What up, Zay? What's going on?
How you doing, Zay?
What up, Lewis? How you been?
Let us not confuse this. Let us not confuse this. This is not Confucius. This is not a Confucius panel. We're not gray over here.
That's
We're
right.
not Confucius.
So
Don't play
Did you
this.
say
No, this is
Confucius
not
or
Confucius.
confusing? Never mind. Never mind.
This is not Confucius. Are you
Superman.
catamish? Are you catamish? Are you catamish? Huh? Are you catamish? Huh? Do
Is
y'all
y'all
know what
catamish?
catamish is?
I
Do
don't know,
y'all know what
Grateful.
catamish is?
I
That's
heard
not
Do y'all
catamish.
catamish.
know what
I'm
catamish
unfamiliar
is?
with that word.
Y'all wanna play with this? Do y'all know what catamish is? Come talk to me when you know what catamish is.
Let them know, Grateful.
Come on, man. Don't be holding us up with your theories and then you don't want to break this shit down.
What's catamish? Let us know, sis.
Grateful always doing this like that. She ain't gonna never tell us what she mean. Say some shit.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't.
Y'all
Comprehend the words
studious.
she says?
Hold on,
Yeah, I
y'all are
know.
studious. Y'all are studious. Y'all have very much the knowings. So be of a catamish. Huh? Be of a catamish and caught me in my tails.
We don't. I don't know what them words mean.
Oh,
Quit
We don't know.
gobbling on
We
your
don't know if
spit.
you're talking
Everybody can
French.
hear you.
We don't know if that's French, Portuguese, or Latin that you're talking right now. That shit is not English.